So in this module, we're going to talk about what exactly is business continuity. So Tony, I'm going to let you kind of walk through this real quick and we'll ask questions along the way, but I think now we're kind of getting into the meat of the matter here.
So business continuity planning is the creation of processes, systems for the prevention and recovery to deal with potential threats, to minimize business interruptions, both planned and unplanned. These threats can be natural, human caused, or malevolent acts. Business continuity plans include the risk assessment, hazard vulnerability assessment. I think that is an eye-opening experience. Again, I've already identified a couple of examples, but I think that when individuals really get into the risk, they realize that they've maybe thought high level and need to think at a whole new level. The business impact analysis, being able to look at staff analysis, essential business functions, and also what's the maximum amount of tolerable downtime that any particular function can tolerate without negatively impacting the business. We talked about mitigation. This is also a golden opportunity for organizations to start considering mitigation. For instance, if you think that one of the biggest impacts is your billing processes, maybe you have an opportunity to bring a third-party vendor in to start doing those particular functions, so that if you run into an emergency, it's not something that you have to address. You can do it send it to a third party. Recovery strategies and interim processing procedures to guide the organization. Being able to put that on paper will also help. Conflicting priorities. When you go through this analysis and it ranks, one of the things that you always run into is somebody who thinks, listen, this particular function in this organization is important, but because you've got the C-suite and others engaged, you truly can put processes next to one another to say, look, this one here absolutely is more critical for us to recover, and we are not going to spend resources on this particular process until later on down the priority list. And it helps you prioritize that. It also helps you in being able to bring those resources in, being able to look at somebody and say, yes, from a recovery perspective, we're going to recover your particular function in priority level 8, but we need you to help us so we can get through 3, 4, and so on. And then when we get to 8, now it's in your wheelhouse and everybody will be helping you. And then the staff roles, make sure people know their roles, the functions, make sure they're trained to be able to take the actions so that they can look at that disaster recovery process and be able to contribute to the recovery. And then also having that timeline. When do we have to bring these functions up? It is not something that, you know what, let's everybody go home and do this tomorrow. No, this is critical. We get back within 4 hours. So it's all hands on deck until we recover this process.
Tony, when you typically do this with a company or you see people do it, is this like a full-time job? This seems to be a lot of stuff that has to be done. I know it has big impacts on the business. How do companies resource this effort? Is it a group? Is it an individual? How should I approach this as a small business?
It's all the above. I've seen a bunch of different variations that are all very effective. You have large organizations out there that they have a committed business continuity planning organization. That's all they do is they basically keep working with the different organizations to make sure that the plan is robust and current. I've seen organizations where one person, they've been afforded the opportunity to get training, and that is part of their responsibility. Sometimes it's not even full time. And then I've also seen organizations that they will contract that out. They'll end up reaching out to a consulting firm and being able to say, look, we want you to come back in, take a look at our plans, update whatever is necessary, make sure you develop a plan for us to be able to train it, maintain it, and then we'll see you in another year. And then if there's any new processes, whatever the new process is, it is giving to whoever is responsible for that. So I've seen all variations of that.
Tony, one of the questions we talked previously about the HVA and the hazard vulnerability and the external and internal, and I think you had sort of some quick hits regarding how you could go about that. The business impact analysis seems to be fairly complicated regarding each and every one of the processes across all of the different organizations, and trying to determine the essential business functions within that organization, you're in a hospital and the